everybody. You are looking live from the bus terminals here at Disney Springs. I'll give you a hint, a subtle hint of where we're heading today. I am wearing the appropriate headgear. Port Orleans Riverside recently reopened, and I absolutely love this resort. It is my favorite moderate resort of all the moderate resorts. So I thought we'd go over there today and walk around, take a good look, maybe get a bite to eat. Appreciate you joining me. Let's get to it. So the first thing I noticed getting off the bus is they've refreshed the bus stop area, Port Orleans Riverside. At least from the last time I was here. I don't know if you can kind of make it out over there. They're all covered, of course. You don't have a covered walkway all the way from the bus stops to the main lobby check-in area here. Those are found at deluxe resorts, but not here at Port Orleans Riverside, which is a moderate resort. But right off the top, we've got Fulton's General Store. We'll head inside here. Again, this is not only one of my favorite resorts, it's definitely one of the most photogenic resorts, in my opinion. It's a sister resort of Port Orleans French Quarter, which is just basically you can walk between the resorts. I don't know why, but the Riverside just fits my eye better for some reason, and just it's very peaceful and tranquil on the grounds, which we'll get to. But you have here, you can see folks getting off the Magical Express, the port share area. So when you arrive, you're pretty much put right into the lobby area. It's kind of modeled after Southern Train Depot, if you will, inside here. But we're going to mask up and head in and give you a full video walk through the lobby area and check out what we can find. Absolutely gorgeous lobby in here. Love it. Like I said, the theme is, if you look around the top here, I don't know if you can quite make it out, are all cities that you would find on a southern route. Vicksburg, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, etc., etc. So the resort itself is split into two areas. You've got Alligator Bayou, and the name of the other areas really slips my mind right now. I'm sure we'll come across it, but basically they're kind of like your southern antebellum plantation. But really cool details in the ceiling with these giant fans or air movers, basically, which are good to see moving again. The last time I was here, these were actually not working, so cool to see them back in action. But now we're going to walk over to Fulton's General Store, which is kind of their gift shop. And as I recall, it's a really good gift. It's been a couple years since I've been here, honestly, but you do have the River Roost bar. They do have bites in there as well, but we're going to check out the general store, as it were. Wow, smell of paint is really strong through here. Tell they had just painted. Typical Disney gift shop. You got your your candy section and your merch. Of course, all your pins. But you know me, I'm always on the lookout for resort-specific merch. So we'll see what we can find in here. But you'll notice all the music. Even on the bus ride over here, it's one of the great Disney details is they've got kind of your old-timey Southern music, I guess you'd say, like the banjos aplenty. But pretty cool. Port Orleans Riverside shirt. It's not Nike, however. You do have a cool shirt there. Let's see what that costs. I'm gonna go $27. $25. They have one in the you know what 2X. We'll definitely grab one of those. Pull out one of these polos. It's a nice polo. It's not Nike though, so I don't know if we'll get that or not. It looks kind of irony. Seen on our previous blogs, you know, I'm just not a fan of stuff I have to iron. I just don't honestly have time, but it's good to be back in the gift shop nonetheless. Really nice job in here. They do have some timepieces in there, some Mickey watches and whatnot. Ooh, I see the Partners watch. That's really cool. I don't know if you can see that in there. Really, really cool. But that's just a general overview of the gift shop here. Like I said, you can really see some of the details. You got Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Say Dewey. Yeah, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. That's correct. But they're kind of in motion, which is cool. Got Goofy and Mickey's nephews. I don't know if they, I'm sure they haven't. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. I can't remember their names right off the top, but looks really good in here. Wow, Donald saw his bill. What do you mean I gotta pay for parking? So I did end up grabbing a shirt. I'm a sucker for a resort specific shirt. I just got a t-shirt. They didn't have the dry fit polos. But this little area is a good place. Just to kind of give you some wayfinding. So Fulton's is here, right beside the River Roost. Main lobby directly ahead, and this area is outside of the main lobby. Like I said, a good place to chill if you're waiting on the Magic Express or just hang out. But they have some cool features throughout their lobby. Pascagoula steamboat there. But we're gonna follow this sign now. It says food and drink. Oh, if you haven't been to the River Roost, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Yeehaw Bob, who puts on a show, a piano player who plays Disney songs, and kind of like a medley form. The crowd interacts, and it's a whole ton of fun. Kind of walk you through here to show you where he performs. I'd love to. I've got a picture somewhere. If I can find it, I'll include it, of me and Yeehaw Bob pre-COVID. That's his little piano there. Really, really glad to see that Port Orleans decided to bring him back, because, you know, I know a lot of people bang on Disney not bringing their talent back, but Yeehaw was definitely if you ever get the chance, it's worth going. If you're staying at another resort, it's totally worth coming over here to check him out and his musical stylings, because he is just such a great entertainer. He actually does a Facebook live show every Sunday evening, which is awesome. So here we have boat rights, which is not open yet, and some folks would tell you that's a good thing. Has kind of a bad reputation, you might say, as far as resort dining goes. I've never eaten here because I was just scared away by the reviews, but we'll definitely give it a chance once it reopens. But this walkway beside Boatwright's will lead you into the mill area, which is their quick service. We'll kind of take a look at all your choices here. You of course have your breakfast, lunch and dinner. Basically it's like a lot of quick services here at Disney World. You have some different choices, some different options there. You know, it's your basic quick serve fare. You've got your chicken strips and pizza and whatnot. That prime rib dip has caught my eye. We probably will get that for lunch. But the jambalaya, I mean, you're here. It is a Cajun-y type flavor here. But that'll give you kind of your overview of what you're looking at here at the quick service. It's plenty of room for seating, and it generally doesn't take very long to get food here, I've noticed. And the quality's always been real good. It's kind of a better shot here of the quick service. You do have grab and go options as well. Looks like some sodas. I don't see any grab and go snacks as far. Yeah, I do too. And that far cooler over there, that lady was just at. There's some offerings which are good for late night. You know, you get stuck out there in the parks, you kind of forget what time it is, and the next thing you know, you're starving to death. So that's definitely an option. I did note, however, that the River Roost Grill served food till midnight, which would be good after a park day. But the coming outside here is my favorite part of this resort. It's just gorgeous. You're walking on docks or decks a lot of times. On the water here on the Sassagoula River. And the namesake of the mill, you have a giant mill outside, a water mill, which is actually connected to the mill part of it inside the restaurant, which I highly doubt they're making their own flour and whatnot. But I mean, what a beautiful, gorgeous, I mean, just cool. You don't see that at a lot of resorts that you stay at, to where they take the theming to that level. But as I said, I mean, you're right on the water. You can actually take a boat from here over to Disney Springs. You can also, of course, take your buses. But I mean, it's a really relaxing boat ride, and you get to see some stuff that you normally don't get to, including the tree houses at Full Wilderness. This, if you get on here, it will also stop at French Quarter and then head on to the Springs. So you get to see the other resort, the sister resort here. But I love this little promenade area they have out here. They do rent Surrey bikes, which is kind of your four-wheel bikes that you can, I think they seat up to 4 people that you can rent here. You can also take bass fishing expeditions from here that leave out early in the morning out of here, which is apparently a whole lot of fun. It's pretty pricey. I believe we'll get some prices as we walk over there, but the apparently you pretty much non-stop catch fish, so that's cool. But it's just a cool, like I said, cool little promenade, and they've even got like a boat dock launch, like a big steamboat would pull up to out here, which is awesome. Just again, kind of give you some waypoints here. We're outside of the quick service, which is the mill, Riverside Mill, looking over at the dock. That's the dock that you would take where those folks are standing over there to get catch the boat to Disney Springs. And then over there, past the building, you don't know if you can make it. You can kind of see part of it. Are those rooms that the mansion rooms that we'll kind of talk about here in a bit. But we're going to head over to Old Man Island, which is the pool area here at Port Orleans Riverside. So that's going to kind of give you the overview of the main pool, or the featured pool here at the resort, Old Man Island. You can kind of see some water features over here. If you've ever been to Dollywood, it always kind of reminded me of that, where they had the like the water kind of running through overhead throughout the park. It's kind of that similar setup, or that similar vibe. But here's a good look at recreation activities. They have pool parties every day at 2 o'clock. Campfire on the bayou, which would be your s'mores and Mickey tie-dye. Glow party. My kids went to that one year and had a really good time. I haven't personally been, because we kind of made a deal. Hey, you guys go to the glow party, we're going to go see Yeehaw Bob. So we're going to kind of walk around a little bit. Magnolia Bend is the name of those rooms. We'll actually head over there now. So I love walking this resort, especially in the morning times when there's really early, when there's no one out. That kind of gives you a back view over to where we just left. But we're going to head over now to Magnolia Bend, kind of give you an idea of these rooms over here versus Alligator Bayou. Full disclosure, I've never stayed Magnolia Bend rooms, and it's not because of choice. It's just we always seem to get Alligator Bayou. I'm sure that you can ask or prefer. The Magnolia Bend rooms also, you have an option of what's called a royal room, which is princess themed with a heavy lean toward Tiana. And Tiana's kind of featured throughout this resort and the sister resort, Port Orleans French Quarter. They do have the beignets over the French Quarter. They do not have beignets here at Riverside. So if you're really looking to get beignets for breakfast, you're going to have to walk over, which is a very pleasant walk. And again, especially in the morning time, it's awesome out here with really like nobody here, and just being able to to really decompress. I mean, this is just this resort, my stress is just down 15 points just being here, because it is so peaceful and calm, and absolutely one of the most manicured resorts. They're all great, but for whatever reason, this one always catches my eye. You get a lot of this view. I mean, absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning resort. It doesn't hurt that it's like a picture postcard day here in Orlando. It's Central Florida. It's 74 degrees with no humidity today, which is highly unusual. Highly unusual. But team members here, as you might imagine, just super friendly. Gosh, that's pretty. Just so pretty. Got your Spanish moss hanging down over the Sassagoula. And we'll actually take the boat ride back to Springs. If it's running, I'll have to double check. The resort just reopened. But it'll give you a better sense of the view, or the boat ride itself. But these rooms, these are the Magnolia Bend rooms. Again, it's the theme here is, Southern old mansion, antebellum style mansions. There's gazebos throughout here. that are just gorgeous. I mean, just a absolutely gorgeous resort. I have seen weddings here, which would be, I mean, as you could tell, would be just perfect. I mean, they take one of the weddings I saw, they put a bunch of the chairs on a lawn. This one obviously has kind of a walkway here, but in some of these rooms or buildings, they have just lawns, which they set with chairs, and it was just a gorgeous wedding. And then I've seen it actually on the My Disney Wedding Show, which was phenomenal. God only knows what that cost. I'm sure it was in the multiples of tens of thousands, but you get what you pay for. I mean, really cool. I don't know if you can see it up there, the water tanks that say Port Orleans. Hopefully I can get a good view of the main area from across the river, which should be a pretty nice shot. I'm sorry if I'm just talking and walking a lot. It's just, I love this resort. You might could tell with the way I'm gushing on it, but it's just like I said, it fits my eye well. I don't know how else to explain it. Just like the way it looks. I like the aesthetic. I love the theming. It does appear the boats are running because I see a guy at the dock, so that's good news for our return back to the springs. Hopefully we can get down here and show you one of those buildings that you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I have stayed over here as opposed to Alligator Bayou, because I remember walking down this pathway, this specific pathway. So yeah, I have stayed over here. Now, as far as room differences between the two sides, they're pretty much the same as far as your square footage goes and your amenities. This right here is where they had that wedding we saw, and I'll kind of show you what I meant by the Great Lawn. And you want to talk about pictures, man, you might imagine. I mean, this just calls out for a wedding. I mean, just absolutely stunning. Real grass here, not hub grass, which is like your fancy Disney AstroTurf, but just, they had all the chairs set out through here. Fountain was the backdrop. Well, actually, the mansion was your backdrop, and then the fountain was kind of, they had the bride and groom set up right up front there. So really cool, really cool. But outside of me talking, I'm just gonna let it, hopefully you can hear the ambient noise. There is none. That's what just makes this resort so peaceful and quiet. I'm looking across here to the bridge and the big grist mill over there, and it's just quiet. There is a good sized playground for the littles. Even its theme, of course, it's Disney. It's got the mill wheel there for them to play on. Kind of walking back toward the pool over to the alligator section. They do have a nice pool bar here that does serve food. I got a specialty drink here, and God, it's been a couple years, so I can't remember what it's called, but it does come in a nice Port Orleans hurricane glass. It may have been a hurricane, actually. So walking through here, comes up on, as you see there, the campfire on the bayou. It's where the s'mores happens. Little fire pit. It's a really fun activity. It's not expensive either. I think we've done, I can't remember, it's been so many, it's been a long time, folks. Man's getting older, so not sure we did that here or not. Kind of wind our way through here. is one thing that
it feels so weird.
one unique feature of the resort you're not gonna, to my knowledge, find anywhere else, is they do have a fishing hole where you can rent rods and fish off these docks here. And really cool, like I said, just totally unique item. Hello. Doing good. Kind of give you an idea of some of the stuff you might possibly catch. But again, just absolutely gorgeous. We'll kind of walk down here and take a peek. All this area is where you can fish from. You can kind of see peeking through the trees up there is the Alligator Bayou section, which is where we're headed next. But you know, something else, if you have a little one that absolutely loves fishing and you're not trying to check your fishing pole into the airport, then Port Orleans has you covered for sure. The only down mark I give this resort, and it's, again, you're splitting hairs when it's that good, is that it is somewhat big. Don't think Caribbean beach big for sure. It's not even close to that size. But as you see, we're coming across this bridge to head over to Alligator Bayou section. It is a little bit of walking. Nowhere near, again, I can't emphasize enough, nowhere again the size of Caribbean Beach, any of the bigger moderates. That bird out there. But if you do, let's say you are staying Alligator Bayou, depending on where you're staying in Alligator Bayou, it is a bit of a walk to the pool, the big pool, but it's not, again, it's not Caribbean Beach where you have internal busing to go from Jamaica to Antigua or from the Barbados to the lobby is a 30-minute walk. We're not into that territory, but there will be some walking. There are a couple different bus stops here, so just be aware. That needs to be louder. I'm gonna try to get away from the leaf blower. But so these are Alligator Bayou rooms. All the rooms here in Alligator Bayou are 2-story, no elevator. I think that's really important to mention. I'm not sure if every single last building has no elevator. I just remember the ones that I've stayed in had no elevator, and they're two-story situations. So if you have, obviously they have to have accommodations for those that need the elevator. I just haven't personally stayed in any. But that's the aesthetic you're looking at there. Again, like I said, the rooms themselves aren't any bigger or smaller depending on Magnolia or Alligator. It's just more of aesthetic and kind of where you want to be in relation to property. But one of the things I do like about Alligator Bayou is they do have a quiet pool option. So if you don't want to hike all the way to Old Man River, which is their big pool with the pool bar, you can always just go to the quiet pool over here. But just look at the grounds here. Little creeks and streams running throughout. It really gives you the sense of being in Louisiana and or deep south. Being this much water, Mosquitoes are a problem here. I personally haven't had any issues with mosquitoes here at Riverside. However, my girlfriend said she got ate up pretty good. So I don't. They just didn't like my blood or what have you. But I didn't have a problem. She did. So I would recommend you bring spray, especially during like the hottest part of the summer. You know, your July, August, September, where it really like it's 95 degrees or low 90s and 100% humidity down here. I can imagine that if you are prone to mosquito bites, this would be a haven for you, or a bad situation for you. And I want to say, I can't remember our building number. It was around here somewheres. So I remember it was pretty close to the pool, the quiet pool, and pretty close to the laundry, which is just ahead there. If there is additional parking, don't feel like you have to park at the main parking lot. There are different parking spots available closer to your building, because again, the resort is somewhat spread out, but there is great signage throughout to kind of show you closest bus stop, closest, this is what I call the quiet pool here at Alligator, which will kind of show you. And this thing, believe it or not, it looks very serene now. Later this evening, when the parks are shutting down and they've gotten into the brown water, the beers, there is quite a lot of activity and noise coming from that pool. But I think we're going to head back now to the lobby, grab a bite to eat. I'm gonna try that French dip, see how it compares to. We just had French dips at Beaches and Cream not long ago, a couple days ago, as a matter of fact. So that taste is freshly on my mind, and we'll compare these French dips, and I'll give you my thoughts on who has the better French dip, the Beaches and Cream or the Riverside Mill here at Port Orleans Riverside. Just talked to a nice couple. You can kind of see them behind me there with their luggage. Here's a tip, an important tip, because it took me a minute to figure it out. All these resorts, value, moderate, deluxe, have bell services. So let's say you just got off the plane, or you've driven 15 hours to Disney. Walk into the hotel, say, hey, I need some help with my bags, especially these spread out resorts. It's not as bad as, Beach Club or, Riviera or somewhere. They'll direct you to bell services, and basically for tips, they'll bring your bags to your room, and you don't have to worry about it. You can just walk to your room. You don't have to fight your, wheeling luggage, 2.7 miles across the resort. Especially like if you have a family and you're staying for a week, you've got a whole lot of luggage and you don't want to make 30 trips to your room. Utilize those bell services. That's what they're there for, but please make sure you tip them. And the same when checking out. I know when we stayed at the Beach Club Villas last summer, we had a week's worth for 7 people packed. So you can imagine not wanting to tramp all that stuff from your truck or car all the way to your room. Well, check with bell services, and they'll get it to your room. You do have to be present in your room for them to deliver it. But just like I said, make sure you tip them as part of the hotel. Another tip real quickly is when you're checking out, call the night before and give them a time, like, hey, I need some help with luggage. I have 6-7 suitcases or whatever. And they're generally pretty good, especially if you call in advance. of knocking on your door, say, hey, we're here to help you get your bags back to your car, back to Magical Express. So just food for thought, because I just saw them toting those suitcases, and I was like, man, I remember I had to do that one time, because I really didn't think about bell services or how that's even done. But they're there to help you. Use them. All right, here's our sandwich, and it looks amazing. I got the prime rib dip. It's got melted provolone, au jus for dippings, of course some Disney fries. I got a water and a barbecue sauce to dip my French fries in. But just by looks alone right now, this thing looks pretty amazing. Let's get into it, see how we like it. Well, right off the top, I gotta tell you, for $11.99, it's a big sandwich. I just kind of cut it in half. See the peppers and onions and cheese in there. I'm gonna try it first without any au jus or any dipping sauce. Now with the au jus. Au jus super hot, which I love. Really good. Really fresh. The resort, from what I've seen so far, is not super crowded. Just reopened like last week or maybe the week before, and it is in the middle of the day, so there's really nobody here in the quick service food court. But the sandwich, very tasty. My only knock on it is the meat is a little too shredded, if that makes sense. It's cut so thin and shaved so hard that it's really crumbly kind of. It's not really any full slices, which I do like that, but it's even a little bit too extreme on this one. But the temperature of the sandwich is fresh and hot, and the au jus is scalding hot. Fries are Disney fries. You've had them 1,000 times. Score is going to be a 6.1, maybe a 6.2. It's not as good as the Beaches and Cream French dip, but for $12, it's a good bargain, and for a quick service, it's fantastic. You know, if you're tired of pizza and chicken nuggets, which after a few days at Disney, you probably will be. I mean, that is a pretty massive sandwich for $12. I highly recommend it. Really good seasoning. Really good steak flavor. Riverside Grill. Excuse me. Riverside Mill. I definitely recommend, especially if you're staying here, it's a no-brainer, but even if you're not, this sandwich is worth a look for sure. You know, I'm just thinking, I'm wrapping up lunch here, though. It's amazing to me that, you know, this resort was closed for the better part of a year. It's only been open for a week or two, and it's like it hasn't missed a beat. You know, that cast members that I've talked to were genuinely happy and excited to see me or to interact with me, especially like my hat. They were asking me, where did you get that, or how old is that hat? And they were just happy to be here and happy to be taking care of guests. You know, and I realize it's, you know, again, recently reopened, but I mean, the grounds, the landscaping, I haven't seen a piece of chip paint. I haven't seen a blade of grass out of place. Just amazing. I'm not sure if this is, you know, full capacity for them now. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, it's very quiet here. It is the middle of the day. A lot of folks are obviously at the parks, but the team members or the cast members that I've had the privilege to speak to have just been welcome to Riverside. You know, when I ordered my lunch, they were super great. Lady asked if I had any questions about mobile ordering. But just happy that I'm here to interact with. So something to be said for that. If you're able to get down here during this time frame, which is a day of shooting, it's the end of October 27th, I believe. But super, super impressed what Disney's been able to do here at this resort. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the boats come in from Springs and just looking at the promenade. Just it's a gorgeous resort, man, and the countless hours. I mean, everything looks freshly painted, freshly done. If you remember at the beginning of the video when I walked into the gift shop, it was like, wow, it's really I smell paint. So that's been painted obviously pretty recently. But great resort. If you're having any doubts at all about booking this resort, do it. You will be more than happy with it, I assure you. This map will give you a little bit better idea of the layout and how close the two resorts are. So if you're up here, Riverside, we're basically here. You can walk very easily down to Port Orleans French Quarter. They have, let's see here. So you do have 4 bus stops at this resort, southeast, north, and west. But very, very walkable. Very walkable and very navigatable. Is that a word? It is now. Come on. But again, this is one of the pontoons that you can rent on the fishing excursions, which is awesome. And this is just off the main lobby area. They do have a full arcade for the kids that is open with a good selection of games, and you do have awesome running trail. It's 1.7 miles along the route there, which that would be a pretty awesome run.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Whoa.
Good. So these are those Surrey bikes we talked about, and you can also just rent regular bicycles here as well. But here you have your River Cruise entrance, and it is open. It runs from 10 to 11 every day to Disney Springs. We'll actually take that back to Disney Springs. That'll be a nice way to kind of cap our visit here to Port Orleans Riverside. Pricing, looking over here, pricing is bikes are $9 an hour or $18 for the day. Surrey bike is $22 for half hour, or $22 for half hour for the 4-seater. And they do offer a fireworks cruise starting at $3.99. That's $399, not $3.99. and the bass fishing is $455 for a 4-hour excursion. Now, I'm not sure what this is, but I've seen a couple of these signs around this resort. They both, oh, e-tickets, I gotcha. Some different attraction signs randomly scattered about. I just saw another one up near the lobby, and I was kind of curious. I didn't ask, but I don't know if it's like a hidden Mickey game here or what, but pretty cool nonetheless. So always keep your eyes open. Disney loves sprinkling details and little Easter eggs throughout. But now we're gonna wait for the boat, head over to Disney Springs. With that, I think that's gonna do it. Just got back to the Springs and gonna head back to the parking garage, but hope you enjoyed our tour today. Port Orleans Riverside, it's again my favorite, not even close, my favorite moderate resort. It's got everything you're really looking for in a resort, in my humble opinion, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. If you hated the video, just hit subscribe, but do so under protest. With that, I'd like to remind you, keep the parks clean.